I'm here to talk today about why mythology-based religions that believe the mythology is truth, such as Christianity, are bad for the individual, their community, humanity, and the earth in the 21st century. I'm going to be covering three major topics, and then I'll end with what belief systems are good for the individual and the planet, and how someone who's in this situation could correct their beliefs and join the 21st century like the rest of us. The three topics I'll be going over is mythology. What is it? How does it work in other cultures of the earth? The concept of the bubble of illusion, and specifically what is bad about believing something that's a mythology. Why does it not work anymore when it used to work? You may have heard the story of two fish swimming through the ocean, two younger fish, and this bigger fish comes by, and the bigger fish is like, "Nice warm water today, isn't it?" And the big fish continues to swim, and one of the younger fish looks at the other fish and says, "What the hell is water?" These fish are inside the ocean, and the water to them is like the bubble of illusion. They have a belief about how the world works and are unaware of what is completely around them, because their belief never talked about that. Their belief, it is just that what they grew up in, it's what they've been told, so they don't know they are in the ocean. That's a very similar way that these belief systems work. If you look throughout human history, this has been true. People are unaware of the actual state that they're in. Unlike 21st century, we're better than ever to understand how the world works, what is the universe, where does, how the earth revolves around the sun, and all these concepts, DNA, viruses, all these things we have a great understanding of. The stars, we understand what the stars are. For thousands and hundreds of thousands of years, human ancestors had no idea what this stuff was, and no one told them. So they didn't know they were the place that they were in. And if you look back through history, pretty much every human society has a mythology. You can go to any culture and study their mythology. They're usually creation stories, stories about morals and ethics, and about power and structure and culture. They're really important stories, and I have no problem with mythologies before the 21st century. Maybe before the 20th century too. So back then they were useful because no one knew what the stars were, for example. So we live in a different time than that back then. But to understand that mythology's been around forever is why we now have some of these ancient religions still have mythology, and some people are still in this bubble of illusion where they just don't know what water is when they're in it. So most religions have this mythology aspect of it, but not all religions. So you can have a religion and a spiritual belief that has mythology in it, but doesn't believe the mythology is true. That's when you run into problems. If you believe that a story about something is true, then it's going to work against you in your world image. And there's a lot of examples in Christianity and things like, Christianity has things in it like blood magic. And if you're a Christian and you don't know what blood magic is, then blood magic is one of the most powerful magics within Christianity. And it's definitely something that 21st century is not for it at all. Luckily, a lot of the religions have worked out a lot of the blood magic. So, understanding mythology plays a part in all human cultures, not just our human culture. All of them have it. And if you look at any other culture, you can see it as mythology. Moving on, the bubble of illusion. Anyone who believes their current mythology is in a bubble. And it's a bubble because when they're in it, they can't tell. But everyone on the outside can. Everyone looking in says, "Oh, that person's in a bubble of illusion." working against humanity and, slowing down their personal progress because they believe something that's not true. It's bad because these are mythologies that were written in a time period. They're stories. They were useful for that time, and now the times have changed. So anyone who believes, and I think I'll take Christianity because it's more specific. So, is Christianity useful? The answer to that question is yes, for a very specific thing. Christianity is very convincing because so many people believe it that you can just fit right into a community of, delusional people. You'll fit right in, and it feels right, and like the Gene-theist, it's like, feels good. So Christianity is useful if you have issues in your life and you need the concept of a higher power, like if you're in the 12-step program. It could be useful, but very limiting. And here's how it's limiting. Number one, there's a bunch of issues in the current age that Christianity does not address. These are big deals. We're in an environmental catastrophe because of the mindset of the people, of the masses, and this capitalism plays a part in it, but Christianity does not help. Christianity in the Bible says everything you hear is given to you by God. The plants, the animals, take it. Oh, and another thing, the apocalypse is coming, so don't worry about cleaning up your mess. Everything's going to be dead anyway, and all of the chosen ones go to heaven, and all of the non-Gene-theists go to hell. Which, if you look at it and you're outside the bubble illusion, is really bad. Really bad. And insulting to the intelligence of everyone around you. So, environmentalism. Can we please have a religion that addresses environmentalism and not destroys the earth like Christianity tends to do? So then you go into things like abortion. Abortion is a complex topic that has evolved over the years. People who are not Christian have a modern understanding of the complexities of abortion. It's not a simple topic, I'm not going to go into it, but look at this. All the people who are Christian are against the modern understanding of how abortion works. All the Christians are also against the modern understanding how evolution works. So it's holding humanity back. It's holding the individual back because they can't progress in their own life when they're stuck on these issues that are incorrect. Another major one, and one that's close to my heart, is diet. Christians seem to believe that it's okay to eat animals, that they have a spiritual practice that seems to be completely lacking in the current issues we live in. If you look at atrocity, and there's a lot of atrocities today, factory farming is an atrocity, funded by all kinds of people, atheists too, but definitely Christians. The Bible, you turn to the Bible and try to look for something, you won't find it. It's, eat fish and kill, blood magic and stuff. So what we really need is spirituality that's connected with the self, with the earth, and with the animals. Because we don't want factory farms. Not only is it awful for the animals, it's awful for the earth, it's awful for the individual's health. It's awful for pandemics. That is a new big issue for us right now. So that's another reason why mythology-based religion is so bad for us. And one big last one is politics. In America, you have to be a Christian in order to move forward in politics. And it's because of this tribal mindset that exists in this country, where people go to church and whatever the church says is the right political view, they accept it. And they're in this bubble of illusion and they can't get out of it. And yeah, if you ask them, they're like, I think for myself. But coincidentally, all Christians seem to act a certain way, and it's very bad for humanity. It's a real problem. So these are the reasons why mythology-based religions are such a problem, and how you can break out of it. Now, I'm not saying that believing in God is bad. I believe in God. I'm a pantheist, so I have a a belief in God, that God is present in all things and is a divine creator, and that the greatest expression of God is the earth. And so I believe in earth-based worship. And this is very good for the 21st century, to recognize that we are beings on an earth and we have to take care of this earth. So you can be a theist, and none of these things will apply to you. You're not in a bubble of illusion if you're a Christian, but you understand that the Bible is not true and the Bible is a mythology. If you are a Christian, and I know that's counterintuitive because the Christians force you to believe something that's a mythology in order to qualify, like a virus in the mind. But technically you could be a cultural Christian, go to church, and not believe, and be modern, aware of the bubble. So, and there's other religions, Buddhism and Atheism, perfectly appropriate for the 21st century. Humanism is not a religion, it's a philosophy, but it has the community and it solves a lot of issues. These are all very good ways to be in the 21st century, and solutions to this problem that we're in with these mythology-based religions being a big problem for the individual, their community, the environment, the earth, and humanity. So hopefully you get what I'm saying, and that if you are spiritually aligned in a way that you understand what a mythology is, and you accept mythology as that, then we're on the same page. And if you currently believe in one of these spiritual views or mythologies, such as Christianity, then explain why you are the way that why you believe that. What specifically makes you believe that, and how is it useful to you, your community, and the people around you? And if you differ from the modern, from either the modern or the past ways of thinking, how so? So, if you watch this and it irritates you because you think I'm wrong about something, I'm very interested in learning and growing myself. If I'm presented with better information, I will correct my way of thinking and my viewpoint. And I can make a video about how I was wrong and what is right. Because ultimately, the goal here is to be good citizens, caring guardians of the earth, and to help humanity flourish and grow for hundreds of more generations, for our children and our children's children, for animals on the earth, other sentient beings. That's what this is about, and I'm hoping that any spiritual belief or religion that you're a member of agrees with that.